Hello my dear YouTuber friends, and I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. This is my review of the Carenado Cessna 182Q. Of course, Carenado brought out the Cessna 182RG, simply one of my favourite GA aircraft in the sim, in both Flight Sim 2020 and Flight Sim 2024. This Cessna 182Q is a new version with all the bells and whistles for Flight Simulator 2024. And in this video I'll be giving you an overview of it, a review, letting you know my thoughts on it, and at the end of the video I'll come back as always and give my recommendations. So let's not dilly-dally, let's get on with this video. So I'm starting us off in walk around mode in cold and dark, just to give you an idea of what it looks like externally. And as you can see, now I'm using keyboard and mouse. Apologies, my Xbox controller is still tucked away in a box after my move. Because this is a 2024 aircraft, of course, you can play with all the flight control services like the rudder here to make sure it's free. The movement is free and fine. Let's just put that back straight. There we go. Sorry about that, rudder. Oh, is that a player-controlled aircraft? Might be. It's good. Yeah, that's not a takeoff I'll be proud of, mate. What the heck are you doing? Goodness me. Glad I caught that one on camera. Shame on you. All the nuts and rivets are in place, as you can see. Quite nice externally. You get a fuselage cover as well, which you'll have to remove, of course, because you won't be able to see where you're going. Whilst we're in external mode, let me just get shut of all these. I don't know how many of you do this in external mode, test all the flight services. I do now and again. When I'm starting off cold and dark, check the oil, just to add that bit of realism. Well, there you go. You can get an idea of what it looks like externally. Quite nice texturing going on with the aircraft itself. I'm using keyboard and mouse once again. Excuse if it looks a bit jerky, it's just because of the keyboard and mouse movements. Comes with 9 different liveries. I'll show you a bit of that on screen. There you go, so 9 different liveries. And you've got a couple of variants. Let's take that off screen. You've got a couple of variants. You've got the standard, and you've got the fairings for the wheel. Standard, you won't have these covers on the wheel. And fairings, I quite like them. You get these little covers. This is a nice little touch. And as you can see, it's a static landing gear, so it doesn't retract like the Cessna 182RG. It's older brother, shall we say. Say hello to our chappy there. Are you going to speak to me today? Apparently not. Oh, I think I'd need to just remove one more cover, then we can get on inside the aircraft itself. Did I remove all that? I did. Yep, got them all removed. So we can just click on the door. So as you can see externally, quite nice. Look at all that. Cost me $18.79, I believe, from the marketplace, from the 2024 marketplace. And that'll be about $20 or so. I'm using the XPC yoke, so my batteries were already turned on. If you're used to the Cessna 182RG, this is going to look mighty familiar to you. The only difference is you don't have a landing gear. Of course, it's a static landing gear. Yeah, very similar. So you're going to feel at home if you have bought the Cessna 182RG. And in fact, as I'll show you later, performance is similar, but there's differences. Couple of switches here or there, dome light there. Just show you what's in the back there. Nothing much to speak of. Old grumpy sod there. And the rest of it's very similar. You do have some circuit breakers down here, which all seem to be, if you mouse over them, they do seem to be modelled at least. You can click them. So put my nav lights on. And all that good stuff. So yeah, internally nothing to complain about. Very similar. What has changed though? You've now got a G300, I believe, and a 4300. I think that's right. Which can be quite handy with this one. This should be on for both Xbox and PC. So you could have one. I'm going to wait till it warms up because there's something I want to show you. One showing your sort of map view and the other one showing your flight plan. Put it on flight plan, there you go. If I had a flight plan set in, that would come up there. And I can keep this one on map view when it goes in. If you go to your tablet, EFB. Bear with me, I do prefer this in horizontal mode. I'll put it on medium, why not? If you go to the more apps, you've got a new app called Carenado. Now, this will allow you, there, it was the 530 and 430, which are installed. Which can be quite useful, like I said. You can also apparently have the option for the TDS, the GTN XI, I believe this is. I'm in the midst of getting that set up, and if you're on the PMS, you can have that installed. That'll be for PC only, my friends. But you can have them both installed in, well, basically here, apparently. So that's quite handy. Like I said, I'm in the midst of setting up. I've kept it this way because this is probably what the majority of you will be seeing. There you go. Now let's load it in. I can put one on flight plan. I've noticed this has changed. To range in and out, I'm having to left click and hold my mouse. And mouse down to zoom out. And mouse up to zoom in. And that'll be for both of them. So I guess it adds more interaction there, doesn't it? Makes sense that you have to hold your mouse over it, I guess. I'm not quite sure that was intentional though. That's how you zoom in and out of the map that way. So there you go. That's a quick view internally and externally. Let me just put my mixture up. I'll get her started up. Oh, quick go of it. There we go. And get her onto an active runway. And let's go for a test flight. So I'm at the active runway at Cologne-Bonn Airport in Germany, EDDK, just for a quick flight test somewhere different. Now there you go, with these Garmin's you have to left click and mouse down to zoom the map out here. This one, left click over the range, left click and hold, and mouse up to zoom out. I don't know why, I don't know if that's intentional, but should we zoom out a bit more there? There we go. Whatever. Let's throttle up. Release the parking brake and we'll take this bird up for a fly. It's actually, over the past couple of days, I've been having some good fun with this aircraft. There we go, a bit of torque to the left there, so just about 80 knots rotate speed for this I found. Round about there. Thing is here though, we don't have a landing gear to raise, so that's going to put some people off flying this aircraft, or confuse some people should I say, because usually you have to take your landing gear up by now. Well, you don't with this one. And up we go, we'll just go for a fly. Where's the city? It's behind us, never mind. Go for a fly maybe somewhere around the city, or cityscape. Just to get a feel. Now the difference has become apparent with the 182RG. It feels heavier, a little bit heavier in flight. They share a lot of characteristics. This one will sort of cruise around 140 and not 160 like the RG. Of course you got the engine cowl cover here as well, cowl flaps rather. So I'll put them down. Generally it feels similar, although this does feel more nimble in flight. I've got to say that's my difference. It's the best way I can explain it until you fly it. If you're used to flying the Cessna 182RG, link to that down below in the description by the way, my original review of that. It's by the same company, so it looks very similar. Very easy to fly aircraft, you just get in them and fly. Of course the autopilot stuff works as well. So we got our heading knob here. So I got my multi-panel on, I can do that a little bit quicker. And you know, you've got your altitude here. So what we can do, autopilot, heading select mode, and now we're in heading mode. And it's going to climb to, what altitude did I set? 1,100. Bit of vertical speed will do. On my multi-panel, just get it back down to that. You can do that here, of course, with the autopilot panel. Why do that if you got a multi-panel? Just move my heading bug around slightly. I've got to say, the interaction with the multi-panel here is a little bit different. If I put it into Alt, now you can't see this, but I want to raise this by 100 feet. It goes 1,000 for some reason. Put that back down. Heading, if I move that, it zips around a lot quicker with the multi-panel. Of course, if you don't have a multi-panel, there's nothing to worry about. The heading knob here will do it, and your altitude knob there will change your altitude, etc, etc. How are we doing here? Vertical speed, let's just put that down by a couple of 100 feet just so we get to 1,100. My altimeter should be correct. And we'll take it off autopilot and hand flying it. That's what I want to do in this video, give you an impression of how it feels in there. It just feels more nimble. Feels akin to the Cessna 182 or 152, to be honest, to fly. And it's that little bit nippier, as you can see here. Pulled it back that throttle a wee bit there, and we should be golden. And what I'll do, where's the airport? It's behind us. I'll line back up with that airport. I'll fly out here a little bit further. Line back up and try and land it. Very simple to fly. These are the type of aircraft when I'm reviewing an area, for example, or just simply want to go flying and turn my brain off. That sounds dangerous. But I don't want to think too much. It's these type of aircraft I'll go to. As I'm flying along, look at the smoke coming out of those chimneys, by the way. I do like that effect. See them in the distance there. Very nice effect there. One thing I'll mention it now. If you don't own the 182 RG, and I don't think that's had a patch yet, you can fly it. I can stream it on PC at least. The Flight Sim 2020 version, the 182, and it behaves mainly the same. You just don't have all the 2024 features built in. So in walk around mode you won't have all those testing the surfaces, etc. And you can't open a door to walk out, you have to take control of character. So this is fully featured. If you don't own the original 182 RG, would I recommend this one? You know, currently I think I would. Over the 182 RG until that gets an official, if it does get an official patch for Flight Sim 2024, or update, shall we say. Probably will at some point, I imagine, but for now, I'm recommending this one. It's not that different, it does feel a bit more nimble. And I don't know, it's just illusion, but it feels like a smaller aircraft when I'm sat inside. It's slightly smaller as well, slightly more compact, even though it's very similar looking. Doesn't feel, the 182 felt a bit larger to me when I'm flying it. This one feels a more compact, more nimble in the flight. Let me bring back that throttle. Gotta remember there's no landing gear to take down now, so that's one less thing for my brain to think of. Lining up with the runway ahead there. Trying to get my speed down to this range. Really have to pull that throttle. 25% throttle employ, people, to get it down to around that range, roughly within that ballpark. Let's just trim up so I'm level flight. There you go, 25% throttle engaged. I'm just about reaching that flaps threshold there. Threshold. Too many THs in there, wasn't there? I knew it would catch me out. Right, there we go. Now what's all this? It's not happy about something. Maybe miss speed? Or is that the active runway ahead? Could be. I've not seen that before. What is that? I don't have my autopilot. Never mind. Okay, stop now. It must be saying, look, you've got a runway ahead of you. That's quite handy. Well, I could see that. You didn't need to tell me. But still, realistic. Generally, it's just a nice little flyer. I'm already giving you my recommendation at the moment, aren't I? If you don't own the original Cessna 182 and it doesn't have an official update for Flight Sim 2024 at the moment, this does. This is straight off the marketplace. I've not found any bugs apart from that strange interaction where you have to left click and hold and mouse up and down, but that's not really a bother. And if I had a flight set in, I'll be looking at my flight plan now, thinking, oh, okay. How far am I? How far away am I? Gives you the distance here while you've got your map showing there. That's quite nice. The GTN XI will be nice to get in there, and I'll get it in there. Just wanted to keep it standard, as you would see it, just for this review. Oh, trees. They need an update here too, Asobo. They look fine ahead somewhat. I'll have to check my setting for trees. I'm pretty sure I've got them on either medium or high, but never mind. It's coming into land. Nice, easy fly. I'm not stressing them a bit low, so I'll just trim up a wee bit there. Actually pull my yoke back a bit. Throttle up a bit, Hodgson. Do this properly. I'll throttle up a bit. Another stage of flaps while I'm there. 20 degrees of flaps. It just feels great. Feels as good as the Cessna 182. Even a little bit more nimble, to be honest. And I'm talking about comparing them both in Flight Sim 2024. Now you're flying the Cessna 182 2020 model in 2024. So it could be that. There could be a bit more fluidity added with this one, as it's a native 2024 model. I don't know, but I just think it's the size difference. And it comes across. Let me get down and land. I'll give you my full recommendation, but I'm not stressing about landing here. Oh, bit of a stutter there. Just get down with no issues whatsoever. There we go. Land around here. Thank you very much. Let's bring me down nicely. Oh, just flare a wee bit there, just so I don't land too heavy. And should land. I'm flaring a bit too high there, but there we go. That's a fair enough landing. And there's a taxiway there to our right, so I might as well carry on there. What a nice little fly. Now, okay, I tell you what, let me just come off here. And we'll just come off. I'm just going to cut the corner here. Oh dear. Did you cut that corner? I did indeed. Let me just come there. I can do this part properly. Brake. And pop on the parking brake. And give you my full recommendations for this, conclusion recommendations for this aircraft. Listen, people. I fly quite a lot of different aircraft. Generally, typically, I have a few favourites. Cessna 182, 172, TBM 850, etc. A handful of favourites. And they're generally aircraft that I know back to front. And I don't have to give too much thought in when I just want to go up for a fun fly. This is included. In 2024, I can see myself now, and I will be doing, flying this a fair bit. You may see it in future videos. Most likely will see it in future videos from me. It's a recommendation from me. 1879, it works well. I've not really found any bugs with it per se as yet. The map thing, you know, when you have to left click and mouse, I'm not sure if that was intentional, but works okay. It flies wonderfully. I've got to say, that's a nice view ahead, isn't it? Let's get that view instead. It flies wonderfully. And yeah, if you don't own the Cessna 182 RG especially, I'll say grab this one. If you do own it and you enjoy it, I'll say grab this one. There you go. Let me know your thoughts. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you soon.